This is Greg Baker, STEM and General Technology teacher from Learn 9 Waukegan. This tutorial is about Jamboard. Jamboard is an online interactive whiteboard that you can find in your Google Apps Suite. So to get to Jamboard, you're going to go to Google, click your waffle, and find Jamboard. When you open Jamboard, it's going to take you to your dashboard. This is where you're going to see your most recent jams. You can sort them by title, by last modified, last opened, or you can change the layout to row view or grid view, whichever one you're more comfortable with. When you're ready to create a new jam, you're going to click the orange button on the bottom right, or if you have a jam that you've already started working on, you can click on that jam and it will open right up. A jam is a series of whiteboard frames that you can use for a multitude of purposes. On the top, you have some basic tools. You have your undo, your redo, and your basic zoom tools. You have the option to create a background. So you can do plain white, you can do dots, ruler, squares, a graph. You can do a blue background, or you can do kind of a black chalkboard background. I'm going to leave mine as white for right now because it's a little bit easier to see. And we're going to take a look at some of the editing tools. On the left-hand side, you have your drawing tool, your pen. So you can click and you can draw. If you click the arrow, you can get some other options. You can get a marker, a highlighter, and a paintbrush. And then you have a few color options at the bottom too. So if I choose blue and the highlighter, you'll see it's going to look different than the regular pen. Underneath that, you have your eraser tool. So you can click and drag and erase, or you can also use the clear frame button to click and clear everything off of your frame. Underneath the eraser is your select tool, which you'll use to click and move things around your frame. Below that is your sticky note. So if you click sticky note, you can choose the color, or you can choose to have no color. I'm going to leave mine yellow, and I'm going to type my first note. Click save, and then I can either create another one, or if I click cancel, it will take me back to my frame. Again, I can use that select tool. I can move this wherever I want on my frame. I can also click and drag to resize. I can rotate it. I can click the three dots to edit. I can make a duplicate, or I can delete. Underneath sticky is your add image button. If you click that, it's going to open a window that might look somewhat familiar. It's similar to what you might use in other Google tools. You have the options to upload an image from your computer. You can use the Google image search. You can pull an image from your Google Drive, or you can pull an image from Google Photos. If you use the Google image search, all you have to do is click and search for an image. Double click, and it's going to put that image on your frame. Just like we did with the sticky note, you can resize it, you can move it around, you can rotate it, and if you want, you can duplicate or delete. The final tool on the bottom here is your laser pointer. If you're using Jamboard to record a video, or if you're using Google Meet or Zoom and using Jamboard Live, you can use the laser pointer. You just click and drag, and it works kind of like a normal laser pointer would do if you were in class. So those are the basic tools. Let's take a look at some of the things that you can use Jamboard for. If you click up here on the top, you can expand your frame bar. This is where you can get a preview of all of your frames. You can click the arrow to scroll through. if you click the plus on either side of a frame, you can add a frame either before or after the current frame you're looking at, or you can click the three dots. This is where you can make a duplicate frame, or if you need to, you can delete a frame. So I'm going to click up here and I'm going to go to my next frame. I've already created a couple of frames so you can get an idea of what they look like. So you can use it as an SEL tool or kind of like an icebreaker kind of thing, where if you're doing a class meeting, you may just want to do something fun and interactive to get your class engaged. You can add a sticky note in the middle. What did you do this weekend? And then you can share your Jamboard with your class. So here's how you do that. You can click the share button on the top right, and then you can either share it with individual people here, or you can come down and copy the link. You're going to want to click on the link that's right under here. It'll say either change or it may say owned by Learn Charter Network. Click that, and then you'll have the option to either share the link as view only or in edit mode. If you want your jam to just be viewed, put it as viewer, but if you want your students to be able to interact, click editor. And then copy the link, click done, and you can paste that link in your Google Classroom. You can send it in an email, or you can put it wherever it is that you go to send out your assignments. Once the students get the Jamboard, all they have to do is click that link and it will take them into your jam. Now there are a couple of things that they can do from there. If you want everyone to interact on the same frame, you can do that. So they can all answer the question and it'll look kind of like this with different names and different images all over your frame. Or if you want them to work individually on their own, they can click the three dots and click make a copy. Then they'll have their own copy of that jam that they can work through and then share back with you. In the next frame here, you'll see one of the big advantages of using Jamboard is for math instruction. You can use that pen tool to write and show how to solve equations. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to make sure I'm on my marker here so it's a little bit smaller. And then you can walk through how to solve the problem. And so on. If you're getting into more advanced equations, it may be a little too tedious to use that pen tool. So what I've found works really well is going into a Google slideshow, and you can use a text box to type out that equation. So this is the same equation I had there, but it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to read. Then I can click File and Download, and I can download just that slide as a JPEG image. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to call this Math 1, save. And then when I go back into my jam, I'll go to a new frame and I'm going to click Image, Upload. I'm going to find that image that I just saved, and it's going to upload right onto my frame. Then I can move it around, I can resize it, and I can give my students some room to work on their problem. One other cool thing that I found from another teacher, they were trying to figure out a way to create a Venn diagram as one of their frames to do a comparison. But they found it too difficult to use the pen tool to try and draw the circles and have them overlap correctly. It just wasn't working. So what they did was they went to add image, went to the image search, found a Venn diagram, and then they stretched it out across the frame, and that teacher's students were then able to put images or sticky notes where they were supposed to go on the Venn diagram. I thought that was a really cool idea. So I created an example that you can use. So instead of creating one jam for every student, you can create a jam that the student can then make a copy of and do their individual work. So if you're doing math and you want to do a problem of the day, you can set up a jam with a frame for each day, and then you can put on your first frame, your math work week 1, type your name in the title, and then as they work through, you can have your problems there. So there's problem 1 for Monday, problem 2 for Tuesday, 3 for Wednesday, and so on. And then at the end of the week, once they've finished all of their work for that week, you can have them share it back to you. That's just a cool idea. Jamboard is pretty versatile. There's quite a bit that you can do within Jamboard as far as creating lessons and creating assignments. I'm excited to see what creativity comes about with our teachers using Jamboard this year. If you have any questions or if you want to share some ideas on how you're going to use Jamboard, you can contact me at gbaker@learncharter.org. Until next time, I've been Greg Baker from Learn 9 Waukegan. Have a wonderful school year and have fun Jamboarding.